What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's Joey again, Vegas D-Tech. Another legend video for you, man. The kids in school, wife's at work, gives me a few quiet minutes here to sit down with you guys and bring you a little bit of an update as to what's been going on at the 20-hour mark with the legend. And I want to do these updates, man. I think I want to do it at every 10 hours. What are my behaviors? What am I noticing? Yes, I can bring you to the park, and yes, we can go find, you know, trash, coin slaw, coins, rusted pennies. We could do all that. And you know what? Of course, you know my channel. I'm going to take you out there between the tech talks, reviews, and actual park hunts. We're going to do all that. But anyways, sitting with you here this morning, enjoying a fresh kombucha with ginger and lemon slices, man. Trying to keep it healthy, trying to keep the body invigorated and energized for me to go out to the park and do some more things today. But anyways, man, on to the serious points. What's been going on with the detector at 20 hours is that I am starting to experience, you know, certain behaviors of the detector that's you know, curious to me. And maybe you guys are also experiencing these things wherever you're at with your detector. And I just wanted to address this because, I mean, if we address these issues as a community, then we can get to the bottom of it. And if, you know, obviously, you know, DLEC is paying attention to these channels here and users, and if you have valid issues, I mean, she's not going to, every time there's a problem, she's not going to just run back to the board and have these guys make some sort of an update, because like she says, she's not making customized individual detectors. But as a whole, as a group, as a community, for those people that have bought into the legend and want the best detector, I think that Nokta Makro is doing a fine job at trying to give us the best opportunity with updates and so forth, okay? But the number one thing that I'm seeing right now is bottle caps, right? Bottle caps are, well, how can I say it? They're getting to me. All right, let me show you exactly what I mean. Alright, so normally, guys, bottle caps sound like quarters, and I stop for quarters, man. I love quarters. Why? Because I use them to go wash my car across the street. So you know what? The parks pay for my car washes, man. So we can't get away from these. You know that. You're gonna have to dig them. But I've never dug a whole lot of these, and I'm starting to see a whole lot of these here at the park. Okay, so let me show you what's going on here. Okay, down here I actually have a Corona bottle cap. I guess everybody loves Coronas out here. And I got the Legend. The Legend is going to be in Park Multi 2, and I'm going to be in all metal. Now, the thing that I find curious about the Legend is that when I come across a bottle cap, if it's a shallow bottle cap, let's just say a couple of inches, it starts to read like a nickel. All right? Right around 26 to 30. I mean, you know, these target IDs are not going to lock and just be, they do bounce around, you know, up and down a couple of points, but it does sound like a, it does sound like a nickel. Now, the curious thing here, man, is that when I raise the coil, right, so if this thing is more than 3 inches, it starts to sound like a quarter. All right, so let's just take it from an inch and then bring it up, okay? So here's an inch, and I brought it up. Did you hear the tone go? 1 inch, raising the coil. And then bring it back down. Yeah, man, so bringing it down and bringing it up. I'm going to try to get a little bit of light. These guys are doing all kinds of weird construction out here, man. making all kinds of damn noise out there. But anyways, yeah, man. So like I said here, if I'm close to it, raise it. Yeah. So that's the okay, that's way too much noise. I'm not gonna let these guys ruin my day here. I guess they're putting in a new gate or something like that. But anyways, no more noise for them. Yeah, man. So anyways, I'm digging a whole lot more bottle caps than I should. And it's because of that situation where in the ground it'll either sound like a nickel if it's low, and then if it gets deeper, then it'll turn into like a quarter signal. I don't know why that is. And sometimes I'm even finding a dead zone between, say, 3 and 5 inches. Let's say at around 4 inches, as the coil's coming up, I get a flat zone where I may not even get a signal. And then if I raise the coil up a little bit, boom, it starts to sound like a 50-51. Bring it flat down to the actual grass level and scrape the grass, and then it may come in as a nickel. Kind of weird. I don't know what's up with that behavior. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm just letting you know this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing, and I don't know if you guys are getting the same thing. Now, the next issue I want to talk about is this whole thing with the iron mask problem that supposedly the Legend is having. I'm not even going to say supposedly. I mean, okay, let's just say that the Legend is challenged with, you know, iron masking. I mean, that was the one thing that I had with the Apex. You know, the Ace Apex, it was having a problem with iron reporting. If there was a piece of iron anywhere in front of a non-ferrous target, the reporting of the iron would be so long that it could not recover and hit the next target right next to it. So you could have a ring right next to a nail, and it didn't recover fast enough to allow you to see the actual good target. Now, I'm not saying that's the situation with the Legend. Now, Calabash has been doing a lot of, you know, a lot of tests where he's, you know, putting the performance of the Deus 2 up against the Legend, and I don't even see why these two detectors are even in the same sentence, man. You know what I mean? If people enjoy that type of footage, you know, comparing a Formula 1 race car to a Corolla or something like that, oh, the results are obvious, man. You don't even need to make videos for it. But bottom line is, man, the Deus 2 obviously unmasks a lot better than the Legend does, and so it should. For $1,000, you know, more, so it should. But I'm going to try to do that test with what I have, with what I found in my parks. I'm not necessarily getting as horrible of results that I'm seeing that Calabash is getting. I mean, I'm seeing some of that, not horrible. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So down here on the ground, I have a little rig set up for you. Okay. So down here, I've got a quarter. I got a rusty bolt right over here. Let me get some sunlight. Pardon the noise, guys, but I need you to be able to see this. I even have another rusty washer, a big old rusty bolt, and another rusty bolt right here. And we're going to put a quarter right in the middle. Now, these things are about 3 inches apart. Now, according to the stuff that I've seen Calabash doing, the Legend is not going to be able to hit that. Right? I mean, if you've got this much iron surrounding your quarter, yeah, you probably are going to have a challenge hitting that with any detector other than the Deus 2. But here is my findings with this, okay? So as you can see here, I have this thing again in park. Let me try to get this thing focused. I have this thing in park, and I have it in multi 2, right? And I'm in all middle. So let's go through and check this out here. I'm still hitting it. I'm hitting it with 3 irons under the coil. Look, three points. I got that washer under the coil, I got this nail under the coil, I got that big old nail under the coil, and then I got the quarter right there. So this big old clunky 11-inch coil, understand that Calabash is doing this with an 8-inch coil. And he's comparing it to the Legend doing it with an 11-inch coil. Once again, I'm not saying that the Deus can't do a better job, but it's not apples for apples here, guys. You got a smaller coil sweeping over this, but I'm letting you know here, all three of these irons are under the coil. You can clearly see they're under the coil, right? If the iron masking was that terrible, I wouldn't see that quarter at all, right? I mean, that's just not the case, man. You know, so I mean, I'm coming across here sweeping, and I do my little wiggle pinpoint. It's right at the top of my coil. There it is. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna stop for that, bro. So this thing is surrounded by iron, right? I'm still gonna get it. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not, like I said, you know, I've seen Calabash do this test where the Legend is failing completely, and of course he's doing it elevated. I haven't gone through all that elevated crap, whatever that might be the situation. I don't have anything to do an elevated test right here, right now, but I'm just letting you know that it's not as bad as you know, some of these tests are making it look. Because you can clearly see, I showed you already, all three of these iron pieces I have is under the coil. Right? There's the washer, it's under the coil. I'm going to be able to hit that, I'm going to be able to pinpoint it, and I'm going to be able to extract it. So, for me, it doesn't appear to be as big of a problem, at least for me, and how I'm detecting and how I have this detector set up. And I don't have it set up crazy. I don't do all these crazy you know, settings and so forth like that. I'm like a run and gun type of a detectorist, man. I like to just get the detector, turn it on, man, ground balance it if I need to. This thing ground balance is really easy, man. Hit the ground balance, I pump it 2 or 3 times and it just quiets completely out. I'm not getting any of the EMI problems. Now here, man, here, let me tell you this. This is quite amazing. And one of the reasons that I don't grab my other detectors anymore, Equinox or the Q40. Okay, I do like them. I do love those machines. But dude, there's an inherent weakness in those machines, and it comes down to the EMI. They are very, very susceptible. Yesterday, I went to a place that I call EMI Park. Okay, and EMI Park has a big old cell tower right dead smack posted right in front of the restrooms at the park, and it's got a big sign around it saying this thing is high output and it puts out high radiation, or not high radiation, but high radio frequencies, whatever. And anytime that I come near that area with another detector, forget about it. You already know R2D2 is just going. Forget it. I can't even. I wouldn't even want to. The second I cut that on, man, and I'm hearing you sweep one time and you're getting like 5 or 6. How am I gonna focus on any one? I can't even get a repeatable. No, because I'm getting a, and then I come back and it's. Come on, man. How am I gonna focus on a target when each time I come across it, same speed, same weight, and it's giving me 3 different flute sounds? I just can't focus that way, and that's the frustration that I got when I'm using the Equinox, right? Because it hears ground noise, and it definitely, if you got EMI in the air, forget about it. Now, with the Q40, it's not as bad, but it has its issues with EMI too. But what I'm able to do to make that thing work is I just cut it into 2 tones, right? and EMI is making the one tone go crazy, so I'm getting a bunch of but when tone 2 comes in for anything but the EMI, it cuts through it. So it's like you're having to hear all this noise down here, but when a good frequency shoots up, it shoots up through it and it fires like up here. So it's like these are the noisy sounds that you're getting in tone 1, and then a good frequency shoots up, it shoots up right about here. You can cut through that in 2 tones. So I'm able to defeat the EMI problems with the Q40. But there is a magic with the EMI shielding with this Legend right here. And I took it to EMI Park, man, and I'm not saying that it was absolutely quiet, but it was at least 80% better usability in that park. So I'm telling you, man, I am not having any reason to grab any other detector other than this Legend, man. You know, I have no words for this machine. I mean, it's really great, and I can tell you that any issues that we are having, if they are an issue that is like a group issue, a community issue, a real issue, when DLEC and Nokta Makro sees that, they are actively working as a company to help us get through those issues, right? The iron masking, if there is a problem with iron masking, I'm not really seeing it enough to affect how I dig, right, in my park hunts. The only thing that I get is that little crazy behavior with the bottle caps that I showed you, that when the bottle cap is near the surface, let's just say within an inch or two, it reads it as a nickel, and then if I raise the coil up, which I'm not raising the coil up, I'm just using that as the analogy that as I raise the coil, trying to recreate depth, when I do that, it starts to sound like a quarter. So I always dig quarters, and a lot of times, for the most part, when it hits 5150, and Jerry the Mining Monkey and me, we have this thing we call I call it Van Halen, because 5150, that's the tone. I mean, that's the target ID that we're getting for those quarters. So every time I see 5150, man, Van Halen, buddy, I dig it, and it's normally always a quarter. But there are those times, man, when I go for 5150 kind of jump action, and it's turning out to be bottle caps. But am I pissed at it? No. Can I work with it? Hell yeah. Do I believe in this detector every single day? I'm trusting it more. I tell you what, guys, confidence is key. Confidence, okay? If you don't have confidence in what your detector is telling you, you're not going to use it. Once you've established that rapport with your machine, that you believe what it's telling you, you guys support each other. You have each other's back. You know what I mean? And I believe that this Nokta Makro Legend has my back, and I have its back. And I'm going to work with it. Do better, for worse. It's like a marriage, But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you guys for today. I just wanted to bring you that little quick update at the 20-hour mark. Like I said, I want to make these videos, in 10-hour increments, and just give you my experience growing with it. And I think that the 10-hour mark, for every 10 hours, is a good mark, of the experience levels and the learning curves that I'm getting with this machine. So anyways, man, thank you so much again for tuning in to a quick little Vegas D-Tech video here on the Legend at the 20-hour mark, man. I hope some of this information was useful to you, at least with the iron masking situation. I'm sure Calabash is going to see that and probably, I don't know, call me a philosophical guy or whatever he calls me, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter, man. Still love Calabash. But I'm not experiencing the same type of problems with iron masking. I mean, yeah, the VDIs are not going to be the same as if it was sitting by itself. But, most of us hunt on tones anyways. And when I hit that tone, it's hitting the tone of a quarter, and I see that number is coming through. It's a diggable signal. And if I can pinpoint it and it's hitting both ways back and forth, I've got to go get it. Got to get it. So anyways, guys, man, if any of this information was useful to you, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share your thoughts, man. Tell me what's going on. Leave me a comment, man. I try to answer every one of them as I see them, as I get across them, okay? You guys be well, man. Joey again, Vegas D-Tech. Take it easy.